although there are ways to counteract that, but I don't think they're going to be dipping back to that PL. You do still need a way to match up against a Morphin. It's just pretty tricky. Adroit has kind of covered their base nicely. Maybe TNC goes into the Ricky. Like we saw them do that a couple of times. The silence can make it a bit... Alright. Yeah, nah. They've... I know, like, the only heroes like that comes to my mind that TNC falls back to is something like the Terrorblade, and I wouldn't want to see that here, for sure.
Definitely not the Terrorblade, not this game.
No.
Morphing doesn't care for the Terrorblade anyway. You just go...
He likes it.
Build. Yeah, loves it.
Yeah, he gets a free metamorphosis, yeah.
Even better. So, they'll ban out the Slark. That's really the only concern they have. Someone who can steal stats off the Morphling. Fair enough. And Adroit now, their final pick, they're looking for some kind of offlane or pause 5, depending on where this Enchantress is going to go. I'm sure they'll just choose a different offlane for Ben Soy, though. I don't think they want him on something like an Enchantress.
Nah.
10 seconds.
Nah, it's, doesn't work, but considering how strong their lineup is, you would want a bit more. We have seen Ben Soy Ravage. That was a pseudo support.
Right.
Like, it ended up just being underfarmed. I think that would fit into this lineup pretty nicely. It just gives them so much control. You have to be careful of the Rubik, though, of course. But again, they've already got to worry about the Shaker into the Rubik. So if Adroit's that confident, I don't think the tide's too bad here. Oh.
Okay. Phoenix pops out. So that could be a core Enchantress. That could be a core Phoenix. I doubt it's a core Phoenix. It looks like it is probably going to be that +3 Enchantress. I suppose it could go either way. They still have it flexible there for those two options. TNC, however, their final pause 1 pick.
10 seconds.
You brought up the peel. I really do feel like that's their only option here. But again, you're into a Shaker. Even the Morphling can morph into the peel, and that can be very, very frustrating to deal with. Just giving Doppelganger away to a Morphling is not a good idea.
No. And even the Ember deals with that well, so I'm not sure if that's really a strong option for TNC, but again, their pool has been limited. It's just down to how they drafted. They need something that has more impact.
You could see something like an Ursa pop out. You just run the Inkswell Ursa combo. I mean, I don't think it's great up against the Morph.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? There's a Phoenix there. You can burst the egg down. If you can get to that point where you have an Abyssal, you could burst the Morphling down as an Ursa. You have that natural lane combo with the Grimstroke. I wouldn't blame them. You already have a Leshrac there. It's a very fast-paced sort of lineup.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the only options, but it's still not something I like here. It's going to be susceptible to kiting. You've already got to worry about the Shaker. You've got the chains from the Ember. You've got the Enchantress who's just going to kite you around as well. And there's a lot of mobility in Adroit's kit, like Ember Spirit, mobile, Morphling's highly mobile, Phoenix is mobile, and looks like Ben Soy is on the Phoenix. So I'm wondering how Adroit's going to split that farm. We've seen Ben Soy on this position before. You know, he's on a pause tree that ends up not getting farm, and you do see that spill into Boomy and CML instead. So there's still some flexibility with the farm timing here from Adroit. I do have to say TNC's draft looks a lot better than Game 1. They're not leaving themselves in certain holes. I still feel like Adroit's draft is better overall, though.
I'd have to, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that, Chop. So it does look a lot better. Now, if TNC can get the start going, if they can get Gabby some farm, get him a bit of momentum on this Ursa, with Armel, I think they have a good chance of pulling off this victory, but if Adroit just played the way they played in Game 1, I don't think TNC have a chance. Not with this kind of stuff.
They just play so aggressively. TNC's lineup doesn't take too much farm. That's one great thing about having these kinds of cores. It's just the pace from Adroit is really, really fast.
Gives them the loser.
Oh man.
I love Adroit. I love how they're not intimidated by a big team like TNC. They just give it to them all the time.
Oh yeah.
I can respect that.
Prepare for battle.
Well, this dual lane coming out from ADRIOT is interesting. Morphling Ench. I mean, it does happen. It can be potent. I like the start from CML. Of course, Blightstone straight up. Just gonna abuse that range. Up against an Abaddon, there isn't any range. So, expect a lot of early damage coming out. I'm sure Tims will try to make that a bit harder, but he's not going to enjoy trading with the Enchantress as well.
Here we go. It's a interesting lane. The thing is with the Enchantress though, you just dominate the lane. Like it's not. That's all she does. She just wins the lane for the morph. I mean, we kind of talked about the Enchantress up against the Abaddon. Just throw the impetus, blow up the shield, make it so you don't have KB just running up to Natsumi and auto attacking to try and get that curse off. CML though, surprisingly enough, has run down to the bot lane
30
now.
seconds to battle.
Wonder what they're up to here.
Could be looking at first blood at least. It is fairly potent, although I don't think you really want to force it out too much. There's a lot of control in TNC at level 1 as well.
Not going. Matt gonna join in as well. Who do they want to aim for? I think March is your best bet here. He's still holding onto the Bishop.
Oh yeah.
Gets a perfect block off, and Matt. It's the dream of every mid laner when they're young, John. Getting first blood before the game starts, and that's gonna mean Matt can buy a very, very early model.
Yeah, this does force him into level 1 slight, but that's really not too bad considering you are up against RML anyway. So it's a really good start for ADRIOT, just giving themselves a lot more gold to play with and helping them win out their crucial 1v1 mid lane. Like, Mac does set a lot of that early pace for the team.
Are they really going to leave the Morphling up top by himself, though? Like, CML is still down at the bot lane. Bensoy and Booming are there as well. They're running a bit of a tri-lane here up against Gabby. Of course, March is going to be there to help on the Grimstroke, but if you're going to run a tri-lane here up against this TNC draft, I don't think they can make the Inksaw combo work with the Ursa. He won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, I think this is perfectly fine for ADRIOT. Like, Natsumi is not going to die to an Abaddon, at least not until maybe level 3 when KB can run up and hit. But before then, it's just going to be a farming lane for him anyway.
March just gets forced out of his own lane. Of course, CML can just harass him out.
Oh, Gabby.
Now, great Fisher out from Boomy. Gabby does jump over that Fisher and uses it to his advantage. Meanwhile, March has had to run around the world to get back into his bot lane. Does get a nice pull-off while he's coming back in. CML is going to be very disruptive. And I actually do like this, because you're ruining the one good combination TNC really has. But they are going to end it now. Looks like CML will TP up to the top lane. And that's the thing, if you're going to run the tri-lane, you might be sacking Natsumi on the morph, which is really what you don't want. They will bring CML up to make sure he has a good time.
Yeah, it's still not the worst of starts for Natsumi. I think he missed out a wave, but he's playing conservatively, and once again, Philippine internet.
Oh, I never thought the day would come where I would be the one with the better internet. I really didn't.
Yeah, it's really easy when you're in Southeast Asia, Mike, or when you're with Southeast Asians, although KP playing a bit aggressive. Not quite enough.
He's an Abaddon. You know, he can do that. The problem is his shield really isn't going to last very long, but now a nice lift in from Tims. CML, that Curse of Avernus on him is in big trouble, but a nice stun out from Natsumi. Tims, Fade Bolt, not going to be available for a while, and so they won't bother. Mind you, CML is still at that level 1 point, so it's not like he can actually go for the heal. Just have to slowly heal himself up with some tangos.
Yeah, this is is hurting his laning presence, but I guess Natsumi is not gonna mind too much. Again, his farm is starting to suffer though.
Gabby ends up finding Ben Soy down at the bot lane. It was that Inkstore Earthshock combination. No, it wasn't actually. Gabby just kind of Earthshocked, and March doesn't even have the Inkstore leveled up. So Gabby, nice pick up for him. Ben Soy had the Icarus dive, doesn't actually commit it though. Meanwhile, Natsumi almost gets hit by a bait fault there from Tims to cancel that sound off. Very, very close call, but he will be okay.
Yeah, and you can see TNC starting to apply that laning pressure they want. KP's Abaddon is really starting to impact Natsumi's farm, although it's not like he's lagging behind KP too much. It's just a 1 CS difference, and I think when you're a Morphling in that kind of situation with this kind of lane, you're still gonna be okay with this situation.
Oh, of course. The Morphling doesn't care if KP's finding any sort of form of farm. He's just going to keep farming himself. So it's a Morphling after all. He's just going to have a great old time later on in this game. Gabby is having a decent old time himself though, right? He's got 16 last hits right now on that Ursa. He found 1 kill, and he's not really being contested right now. And that could be a real big problem for ADRIOT later on. Because the Morphling won't be able to fight back up against the Ursa through that mid game, right? Like, the Morphling does require a lot more farm. If Gabby can find that early Abyssal, TNC could start running over ADRIOT.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the winning factors for TNC is just getting that early farm up in Gabby, and he is saving up for the early Battle Fury, which will accelerate that farm. They have to ensure that Gabby's not going to get punished for that kind of farming build though.
Inkswell placed on himself. He should still die here. Ben Soy picks up that kill, but Icarus Snipe is not available right now. And that means Gabby should be able to find a secondary kill, but Boomy delaying things. It won't be enough. And I think that actually favors Gabby here on the side of TNC, right? Like, you don't mind losing March like that. In fact, if you find Boomy, you're going to be even happier. Meanwhile, Tims does get CMO at the top lane, but Gabby is still chasing down Boomy. He will eventually let that go. Natsumi did manage to at least get Tims as a trade on that Ruby. So both Pos 1s right now enjoying some very, very nice kills for themselves.
Yeah, they are getting a lot more in these exchanges, although again, there is still a slight lead for ADRIOT overall in terms of net worth. Not much. It's still fairly even, 3-3. I think TNC just needs to hit some EXP points. You've got 6 up and running on Armel, but Mac is level 6 as well. So that mid lane kill potential for both sides is fairly even. You have to look to Mac maybe getting a side lane rotation out.
It's going to be the fight over that 6-minute power rune, it seems. Mac actually going to chase down Armel. Armel very low in terms of mana. Power rune not going to be there. Nice fish around Mac. Stroke of Fate does miss as well with Tims. He will have enough. And that was unfortunate for Mac because he actually had the Remnant at the right spot prior to remnanting down to the southern power rune spot. But yeah, he goes for the wrong one. He could have had a double damage.
Yeah, he did kind of play himself, although Boomy with that does hit really hard.
He does. Tim's trapped up right now. CML will be able to pick up the kill. So they do at least, get a kill going for them on the side of ADRIOT, but you just don't want to lose your Ember like that.
Nah. It does still slow down Mac, and of course you are giving Armel more gold to play with, which isn't optimal. Like the Leshrac, once it has the Yules, is going to be a lot harder to deal with, is going to constantly pump out the damage, and TNC at this point looking to play aggressive.
Nice lift up on the Earthshaker, but now he's surrounded. Not quite bursted, however. They're unable to make the dive down to secure that kill on the Ruby.
Tower is under attack.
But they do manage to at least get Boomy out of there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that ADRIOT has to start playing around is protecting Boomy. He's saving up straight up for the blink now. So it's around that time when the Shaker does start to get a bit more farm priority. And I think ADRIOT's going to have to wait out for that item pickup before committing to bigger fights, although Tims
gets him chanted up. We're trying to run away, but he's already committed that lift, and that means Boomy can easily set up for another kill. Boomy does pick up the kill as well. You definitely want to give that kill away to Boomy right now, because any bit of gold will really help.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Handle.
Bot lane, Ben Soy, we get chased down. Ingswell won't end up stunning him up before he does get the Icarus dive. So Gabby, not finding the kill, but he will be able to just get back to farming. Interestingly enough, though, he is going for the Battle Fury build. Ben Soy in a bit of trouble, doesn't have that dive. Gabby trying to secure this kill, but getting juked out right now. He's running the wrong way, and that's because Matt was around on that Ember. It was all a bait from Ben Soy. And they secured a very, very important kill here on the side of ADRIOT. And Matt now,
Radiant's bottom tower
just go ahead and secure that creep wave, find the neutral creeps. If we could just go back a second, John, that Battle Fury build on the Ursa, not sure if that's really going to pay off up against the Morphling.
Yeah, I get why they're going for it. We see this a lot from Ursus, although Egg has been committed first. March? Oh yeah, he's gone.
March just barely on the outer edge of that Egg. Does get stunned up, and Matt picks up another kill on the Ember. And with that, they're going to start pressuring that bottom T1 tower.
And this is one of the things that ADRIOT has better than TNC on their off lanes. KP at 6 doesn't contribute in the same way. He gets tankier. He can cop a couple of ganks or just cop the attention, but he's not giving you a big teamfight utility spell. So he's just maintaining this lane up against Natsumi, and Natsumi's still finding farm.
That he is. They are going to come down to the bot lane, TNC. They know Max around there somewhere. So is Ben Soy, currently showing on that Phoenix. Now they both show in front of that T1 tower, but you just don't have the lockdown for Mac, I don't believe. Gabby will get started. Mac will run it away. Mel coming in with that lightning, but it just does nothing. This is just not great news for TNC, as they're making all these big rotations, but they're not capitalizing on it at all. And they found the bounty at least, I guess, but that's only one bounty.
Yeah. And they lose KP as well.
Yeah, they secured the Abaddon kill.
They lost KP, they lost the top tier 1. ADRIOT is slowly chipping away on the map, and TNC, they're still waiting for a lot more to come out. Like, we were talking about the Battle Fury, and we never finished that conversation, but we see Ursus do this all the time. Rush the Battle Fury, try to play the farming game. It's just that this helps ADRIOT a lot more, because that's just more time for Natsumi to work on the shotgun. And we talked about kiteability of the Ursa. Once the shotgun's up, you have a lot more to worry about, because your timing on the enrage has to be on point. Otherwise, even if you're not blown up, you are going to be disarmed. And that's just as bad for an Ursa.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to just try and go into the Basher, and then the Abyss sort of have some control there for Natsumi and the rest of the gang on ADRIOT, but Battle Fury is going to be the build. It's going to make it so they play a very slow game up against ADRIOT. You look at Gabby's farm, it's not exactly the top right now. Right now, Mac and Natsumi are sitting at the top of that net worth board. Still top tier 1 tower, going to be under siege now from TNC, but Mac is there. A great chains out. Egg has been dropped as well. Armel, he will fall low, but barely does survive in the end. Mac would love to keep going, but they are just way too far apart. The TNC now, they go for a bit of a reset back into Mac. He shouldn't expect this, but Split Earth does not connect. But they just want that tier 1 tower. TNC, they will be able to take it. However,
Gabby?
Gonna find CML. ADRIOT do not feel confident to try and fight back, so that was actually a very, very nice rotation from Gabby. Gets himself a free kill.
It's a nice, easy pick-off for TNC. They do manage to capture the outpost up top as well, but ADRIOT are just gonna avoid for the rest. They are still giving Natsumi that space down, but you are seeing him save up into an SNY. So Natsumi's the one who wants to play fast compared to Gabby. He actually just wants to run in, right-click off, and start killing heroes early on.
You've got to love that from ADRIOT though, right? They're always this team in SCA that goes through the very, very unique kind of drafts and item builds. how often do you see an S and Y build on a Morphling?
Yeah, it's not very common though.
Mid lane,
Boomy.
getting up for a big team fight. KP gonna be in big trouble. Mac is gonna be able to really clean up here and does find a double kill. So 3 heroes going down for the side of TNC once again, and ADRIOT can now start pressuring that mid tier 1 tower.
Radiant's middle
Yeah, they should be able to get a good amount of damage. That's going to be great control coming in. Boomy gets a big slam. He doesn't have the blink yet. He has it now.
Uh-oh.
So if that's what he was doing without the blink, I'd hate to see what happens at TNC after.
One of those players, he just has fantastic positioning. It's very hard to know where he is at all times, and he just knows when to go in at that perfect moment. CML gonna avoid a gank attempt there from TNC. Now TNC are gonna smoke up. They are gonna bring Gabby along with them. Gabby is very close to finishing off that Battle Fury, but hasn't quite got it off yet. They are going to head down bot where Natsumi is in the Morphling, but he's already backing out as well, and it's a very nice scan out from ADRIOT.
is under attack.
Perfectly placed.
Are scanning.
They'll be out of there.
Yeah, and they really are just dancing around the map, wasting TNC's time, while just working in the favor of ADRIOT. They've got nice deep wards as well, so they should know where TNC is now that the smoke fades. And they can choose to try to force something out, although it looks like they are just happy finding farm. I mean, you're building up in the Morphling, you're building up on your Ember, who's going straight for the Desolator build, which I love when you work into a right-click morph as well. So all the damage in the world will be coming out fairly soon for ADRIOT.
That it will. Now Mac actually going to rotate straight
Radiant's
into
courier has
Mel.
been killed.
Does get the Courier of
Dire's
March.
bottom tower is under attack.
Mel trying to build into a Bloodstone, it seems, on that Leshrac, but in terms of Leshrac farm, as it goes, it's been a bit slow for him. Mid lane, KP gonna get chased down now. A great disher out from Boomy, blocking KP on that low ground. Nice soulbind out from March. KP though still burning right now. No borrowed time left for him. He's just trying to run away, but Mac, do you want to keep going? No, the answer is not. He does back off. You really see the strength there from that Fisher from Boomy. He's this Earth Taker that constantly just ends up finding these amazing fishes during a team fight that just blocks everyone off. In fact, right now, he gets another nice block off on Tim's. Lift up on the Ember map. He's going to try and fight back. Sunray going to be there. Tim should eventually just burn out. He's still trying to fight back, but no, he does go down. Mac, however, does not want to die like this. Boomy jumps in with the Enchanted Totem, and now he waits for the creep wave. It's so much damage up from Boomy into the egg of Ben Soy, and Mac gets out of there scot-free. Oh, what an echo slam from Boomy.
Oh man, I love the patience coming out there. It's like he just waited. KP just blew up right next to him, and he can't even find the Ember who is low. ADRIOT, once more, dancing around TNC. TNC, they've got to wait for these item buildups. Gabby has to be a bit careful. Needs to save up for the BKB. He's trying to go in.
They're just going to chase him down. CML is very low right now. Gabby's trying to juke his way out of this tree line from Mac. He does manage the TP out. Got that Battle Fury up. It's just not going to be quite enough yet.
No, definitely not. It's just to speed up the farm. The BKB will be nice, but I think more importantly, you probably want the Blinker Abyssal coming out right after. You just need a way to go in, pin someone down, and blow them up immediately. And TNC doesn't have that. They're going to have to wait a little bit longer for Gabby to find that farm. ADRIOT should be aware, though. They need to kind of slow down Gabby. If they do give an opportunity there, it could swing if TNC finds some key pickoffs.
How do they find them, though? Like, the lockdown's still the big problem here for TNC. The best you've got right now is Lift, and you've got Armel, Yules, and to stun. That's really all you've got. You can make the argument the Inkswell's there as well from March, but it hasn't really been working out that way now. Well, Gabby trying to go for a Roshan, but he gets as well. with the Sunray from Ben Soy, he's taking out things for
No.
They help out. Mac jumps in. They found CML, but they're gonna lose Gabby. And now, Mel, there's no way out of this situation. He is definitely dying. And Mac is already looking for another target. Natsumi gonna be there as well. They burst down March. And on top of all that, it looks like they'll also find
no.
KP. Another Bishop block on KP. He's gonna try and run away. He does have borrowed time, but they're just gonna follow him. Stalk the prey.
Dire's
And
middle tower
almost at that high ground, but not quite. Mac will be able to secure the kill for the team. And John, they've got a Roshan to take. There's a double damage waiting for them. TNC started it, gets the Roshan warmed up. Ben Soy thinking about denying the power room. He won't. That would kill if he did. Natsumi will take the double damage.
Yeah, look at how much he hits. 190 plus 190. That's without his rate bands as well, so it's going to be a very quick take. And we haven't even really seen Natsumi fully topped up. Like, he's saving for the Ags for the Shaker combination. Although, oh! Boomy!
Natsumi again. Boomy with the fish up. Natsumi is there as well. And Gabby gonna get controlled up. Is gonna die. And Boomy is getting all the tips this game.
I mean, you have to. That slam was perfect. TNC clump up on the high ground. They know there's a Shaker. They were a lot more disciplined about the black hole spacing last game. This time around, Boomy is just eating them up.
We've seen this so many times from Boomy as well. He just tends to be able to land those big echoes every time. And now ADRIOT gonna go for that mid-tier 2 tower. It's gonna be a very easy tower to take because you have that Deso, you have all this auto attack damage from
Radiant's
Natsumi.
middle
And
tower has fallen.
ADRIOT continuing to take map control here and TNC. It's hard to know what you can get done here.
My waters rise.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Let's start up on KP. Bishop will not connect this time. KP should be fine anyway. He has the borrowed time.
Dire are
You
scared.
do have Mac coming in though.
A tool to teach.
Ed was being committed as well from Ben Soy. Little fights going on all across the map right now, it seems. Even Mark. On to fight back against Mac, but Mac just gets the kill. It's cancelled off the TP, gets the chains off, and it was that easy.
You can't stand up against Mac. Like, he's got the Dezo, of course, the Blade Mail gives him more damage. He's building into the crit stick, into the Daedalus. So he is just going all in on right clicks, and you can't even really just toy with him right now as a support. And you look at that build-up on Natsumi, the Ags, I think, is coming in. There you go. So Shaker, Morphling time. It wasn't silly enough. It's going to get a bit sillier now.
Oh, I love it.
Up against TNC.
Up against TNC. And the thing is as well, we're only 21 minutes in, John. Natsumi's got Sanjin Yasha, Morbid Mass, Treads, Wand, and fucking Aghanim Scepter. Excuse my French, and it's just... It's insanity.
It is.
It is
There you go.
insanity. Like, his farm is crazy right now. Sitting at 12.5k, and...
Be ensnared in fire.
You could just blow someone up.
Here we go. Bishop, perfect from Natsumi.
There you
Another Bishop from Boomy. Just make the wall bigger. And
Oh,
now
boy.
Tim's getting jumped on. Is gonna die.
Oh, no.
Bang. Natsumi just one hit. Finds another.
Oh, man. March.
March, you've got to run away. You know what this combo does, sort of. So you've drafted this many times. Soulbind is going to be there, however. Silence is out as well.
Is under attack.
Can they secure these kills? They would be big deals here for TNC, but no, Ben Soy, you just don't have the lockdown. He's literally just running away right now. Shield does explode. Ben Soy just uses the Icarus dive and gets out of there.
Oh man, this is just getting even tougher. You've got the disarm on Ben Soy, so even if Gabby's around to right click, he's not gonna get any hits off.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Oh man,
Natsumi. Yeah, back
that
in.
tower damage.
It's a lot of tower damage. Fisher out. Mark
Oh.
explodes. TNC trying their best to defend this tier 3 tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Mac is just so confident right now. Has the Crystalus up as well as the Daedalus, excuse me, as the Desolator. Smoke gonna be there for TNC. It's the only way they can really initiate this team fight.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh,
Oh, there's the stun. KP gonna have that borrowed time popped. Another great Fisher out, though. Great stun out, and well, the Aegis. That's a big start. But now Matt, he'll just jump in. Gabby does take care of the extra. Bentoy is also gonna die. But Matt's the real problem. He found a double, but Gabby, he finds a double as well. They have lost the Millie Barracks, but they are finding kills.
Is under attack.
Boomy gets a Fisher.
Oh.
Follow-up Fisher coming out. More Fishers. There's a third Fisher from Tim.
oh man.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
And they come in, they clean up that Rax.
Has fallen.
And ADRIOT that apparently aren't done yet, but they want to keep
Radiant's
going.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, why not? They have the damage. The respawns aren't going to be too long, and they know TNC can't really do too much about it, although they will back off now, play a bit more conservatively. You take a look at Natsumi saving up for the shotgun next, so now no one's going to survive when he comes in. They're really just gone. There's no way you live through this one. Oh? Uh-oh.
Natsumi's way. Oh no. TNC,
Oh, no.
They have all the vision, the Fishes.
Oh, no.
He jumps in for the Echo again. Oh, it's the calm before the storm, John. They just wait so patiently. And, well, in the back lines, Gabby does BKB TP away. KP also gets out of there. I'm starting to learn a very valuable lesson here today, John. Apparently, you cannot give ADRIOT ADRIOT the Earth Shaker. It's a big
Oh no, you never do. Boomy is just so comfy in that hero. I'd say it's his signature. That and the Enigma. So the fact that ADRIOT's been able to pick up those heroes, you're asking for trouble if you let them have those.
Has fallen. Radiant's
Natsumi
middle
just
barracks
goes in for the mid-racks. His whole team isn't even with him right now. Currently, KP is trying to get away from Boomy. He can't TP because he knows that it'll be cancelled. So KP just going to keep running. His Rax is under siege. March will die. Mel will die. Gabby's the only one left. KP does finally get the TP off, but now the chains are out from Max, who's controlling both these heroes. March, he'll buy back. But again, I ask the question, how do you defend?
You can't. At least they're not gonna get Megas just yet. There's a tier 2 still waiting, but it's not gonna live too long. And TNC, they need to find a way to defend. It's just, they don't have the best high ground here. There's not much team fight coming out. You've got the Scotty up now on Natsumi, so just more stats and more damage.
Oh, look at this Fisher. Oh. Between two rocks. Now they jump in. They find March again. It's a die back on the Grimstroke. Tim's is also to go down. Gabby trying to fight back. He gets the egg. He might find Boomy, but no. There'll be a Yule's out. Gabby will run out of enrage and he will die. And that'll be a GG call being made from TNC. ADRIOT get a 2-0 to start off their day.
Oh yeah, it's a great start for ADRIOT. Not the best for TNC. It has been a rough few months for TNC, and man, it's